Hello, where you've joined in a conversation on COVID-19. We continue to talk about the pandemic, the situation in the country, vaccines, and how India is doing. I'm Sneha Mordani. Let's get talking about the mutant variants of the infection first. 242 cases of the new variants have surfaced in the country up until now, is what the government is saying. But this is a figure, it's a conservative figure, is what many people say, given the fact that to assess whether the person is carrying a mutant variant or not of the infection requires a great deal of study, and that's done in the form of genome sequencing, which isn't happening as much as it would really, or as it would or should have been the case, is what many experts say. In fact, extensive genome sequencing is required in the country, but right now we have 242 cases of the new variants of the infection. These are cases from Brazil, from the UK and South Africa, particularly concern for those variants from South Africa and the UK. In UK, the variant is called B.1.17 and it's got a higher transmissibility percentage of over 60%, which means that it may actually end up infecting more people. Now, the government has said that none of these variants are actually leading to a spike in cases, though it is believed that the variant in the mutating virus in Amravati in Maharashtra has led to a massive spike there. Talking about Maharashtra, it's a worrisome situation. The government about a week ago had said that they'll impose a lockdown and they will be much more strict than what they really are in terms of movement of the people if the cases increase. The cases are increasing. The challans have also increased. The testing has also increased, and a lot of restrictions are in place, but the cases in Maharashtra are increasing. Cases in Maharashtra are touching 10,000. The last time it had touched 10,000 was in the month of October last year. Now it's come back to almost 10,000 cases. Mumbai alone has recorded more than 1,100 new cases of COVID-19. It's contributing to 50% of the total number of cases in the country, and that is a worry as far as the spike goes. The government has been saying election season will lead to a spike. Epidemiologists have said that there could be local outbreaks of the infection in the election season when there is overcrowding during campaigning, during polling. All of that is going to lead to an increase, and it's a huge worry. Right now, Kerala, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Punjab are the places, also Gujarat, that are reporting a high number of cases, is what the government has said. This is going to increase further as the election season starts. It's already started. We are in the campaigning mode already, and that is going to be a problem, is what has been said by the government. Not just that, the wedding season too is going to add to our woes, is what has been said by the government. Let's talk about the vaccination program in the country. More than in fact 7 lakh, in fact close to 7 lakh doses of the vaccine have been given as of yesterday. This is a high number. Yesterday we gave vaccine doses to 7 lakh people in the country. From around less than 3 lakh doses, we are going up to 7 lakh doses a day. It's double in the number of doses that were being given in the first phase of the vaccination. It's a good sign, is what experts are saying. So are we leaving vaccine hesitancy behind? It does appear. Lots of people are coming forward to take it, and also when chief ministers come forward to take it, when you have those pictures of the chief minister of the who's who in the country taking the vaccine, it does send out a message that the vaccine is safe and that we all must take it. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has taken it. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan from Madhya Pradesh has taken it. There are various other people who've taken it, and that is sending a good message, is what is being said by the government. Nearly 1 million doses have been given in the last 24 hours. This is the update up to noon this morning. More than 1.66 crore doses given up until now, ever since the program began on the 16th of January, is what the government essentially has said. So things are picking up. The other good news here, and we want to talk about that a little today, is the nasal vaccine. The nasal vaccine is in fact being developed by Bharat Biotech International Limited, and this is the vaccine that has the potential to in fact kill the virus at its doorstep, which is at the nasal cavity right here, is what experts are saying. what's the good news as far as the nasal virus is concerned? It got the approval on the 19th of January early this year by the subject expert committee to start the phase 1 trials of the vaccine. That is going to start in just about 2 or 3 days from now. Early next week, we will see the phase 1 trials of the nasal vaccine that has been developed by Bharat Biotech start. Good things about the vaccine to begin with. Like I said at the outset, it attacks the virus at the doorstep, at the nasal cavity, which is an excellent host to the virus. Also, it's going to be a single dose vaccine in all likelihood. Experts are saying it's again a viral vector vaccine, so it's a dead virus and it is safe in that sense. Children can also possibly take it at a later stage, and that is an assessment of the company. This is something that needs to be looked at very closely, of course, once the efficacy data is available. Remember, this is a non-invasive way to deal with COVID-19. So no injections, no needles required. You eliminate risk of injuries, you eliminate risk of adverse events associated with the needle. Dr. Krishna Ella of Bharat Biotech has said that his vision was to see that there is a vaccine that can be given like nasal drops, like polio drops, for example. And that is something that is being done with the nasal vaccine, and that is something which everybody is fairly happy about. Right now, the challenge remains that we need to speed up vaccinations. We need to get more and more people come to vaccination sites. We've had 24/7 vaccination sites also start off with the government saying private hospitals have to do it. We have various pharmacies, we have various vaccination sites like clinics also taking in people for the shots, and that is being done again through the government's centrally monitored software, which is the COVID portal, and we'll talk about that also in a bit from now. But all of that is being done to see how many doses of Covishield are being given, how many doses of Covaxin are being given in the country, and that's going to give us an idea about how many doses people are actually using of either of these vaccines. Side effects, even adverse events are being monitored through the COVID portal. It's all centrally monitored, and hence that portal becomes extremely important. We need to get more people to vaccinate is still the sense. We have picked up pace, but still not good enough. Remember, the objective is to reach 30 crore vaccinations by July 2021, in which we end up inoculating both doses of the vaccine to 1 crore healthcare workers, still not being done as actively as one would hoped it for, 2 crore frontline workers, and 27 crore senior citizens, those above the age of 45 with underlying healthcare conditions. Also, quickly, still a lot of people do not know, registrations open at cowin.gov.in, and also Arogya Setu has opened up a new tab that is leading you to registrations. No new app for COVID. Again, something else that we want to talk about as we continuously talk about Covaxin and Covishield, but what are the other options before us here in the country in days and weeks to come? Because there are other vaccines as well that are getting developed in the country, and we must know about these vaccines as well. Firstly, we have the Sputnik V vaccine that is being developed by the Gamaleya Institute, and that's being in fact developed by Dr. Reddy's labs in India, where the bridging studies are going on. They had applied to, in fact, they wanted to get emergency use authorization. That permission was not granted because the data was not good enough, is what the subject expert committee essentially had said about Sputnik V. There are other vaccines also. Zydus Cadela's vaccine is in the phase 3 trials, and that is again a DNA vaccine. Zydus Cadela is a company based out of Gujarat. There is another vaccine that is being developed by a company called Genova Biopharmaceuticals. It's a Pune based company, and it's India's mRNA vaccine right now in the phase 1 and 2 trial stage. It is again being supported by the Department of Biotechnology. Biological ease vaccine, which is the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, again it's an adenovirus vaccine, it's a single dose vaccine, importantly. That is the company that also is in the phase 1 trials, and the nasal vaccine, of course, like I said, is going to be starting the phase 1 trials. The other vaccine that is being developed by the Serum Institute of India, it's called it's the Novavax vaccine. It's called Covovax here. It's a protein-based vaccine, and it is in the phase 2 and 3 bridging studies trials. The idea here is that the government has more options before it in terms of having more vaccines to choose from. It will reduce the cost eventually when these vaccines get market authorization. Right now, none of these vaccines have market authorization. Also, it's going to give the option really of people to choose from. A lot of people are not okay with an mRNA vaccine. A lot of people would not want to go for a DNA vaccine, would want to go for a vaccine which is considered safe on a tried and tested platform like an inactivated vaccine of Bharat Biotech. So they will have the option to choose from these vaccines, is what the government really wants also eventually in weeks and months to come. For the moment, that's it from me. We'll continue to have our conversations about COVID-19, the pandemic, and like I always keep saying, there are other things to talk about as well. In this country, there are many infectious diseases that need threadbare discussion on what the government is doing about it. Infectious diseases are an everyday battle in India, and so are lifestyle diseases. We'll continue to talk about that also in days to come. That's it from me for the moment. Thank you for joining in.